I recently read this article in The Atlantic titled, "What Can Adults Learn from Kids' Friendships?" And I bet a lot of people bounced off of this article, and unfortunately, maybe this video already, because there's sort of an assumption that adults don't really have anything to learn from children. But stay with me for this one, because we definitely do. Now, I'm not going to bury the lead and try to keep you in suspense here. This is a D&D channel. It's pretty obvious where this is all going anyway, right? The subtitle to the article is "What Adults Forget About Friendship. Just Catching Up Can Feel Stale. Playing and wasting time together like kids do are how you make memories." I really like this little animation too. The article talks about a lot of things, but it talks about a group of childhood friends who'd hang out in the woods and divide it into fantasy kingdoms, invent their own language of code words and inside jokes, essentially creating their own culture and a profound bond in the process. Now they're all grown up and they still make time to get together occasionally, but it's not quite the same. Like a lot of adult gets-togethers, it's very structured and can feel like not a lot that's new really happens. Compared with the lush world of traditions they had growing up, the typical ways they now spend time with their other adult friends feels stale. How creative can you get when the premise is two couples are meeting up from mini golf from 7 till 9 p.m.? Though grabbing dinner with a friend can be engaging, it's a far cry from elaborate forest ceremonies. When's the last time you participated in an elaborate forest ceremony? Your answer is going to be very different if you've had a druid in your party recently, but for a lot of grown-ups, I wonder when the last time they even took a walk in the woods was. Look, we live in very lonely times. However, connected the internet supposedly makes us, more and more people are feeling disconnected. Whatever social skills we had left after social media was done with us had atrophied further after a year or two of quarantine, right? And if you move to a new city like I did in the middle of all of that, you might be looking around confused about how to make new friends as an adult. Now, I am lucky enough to have friends from my years in New York and elsewhere, work friends and school friends, stretching from college all the way back to preschool, if you can believe it. What's up, Alex? And we will make the effort to reach out every so often, and we'll catch up, and it is nice, for sure. We'll talk about the light stuff, and we'll talk about the heavy stuff, but, it's maybe an hour or so once a month, once a season, in a lot of cases, once a year, and these are my good friends, relationships I really value. But if we're honest with ourselves, of course it isn't the same. We talk about what has already happened. We don't do a lot of new stuff. Many adults do away with the unhurried hangouts and imaginative play that make youthful friendships so vibrant. Though friendships naturally evolve as we grow up, they don't need to lose that vitality. Continuing to embrace a childlike approach to friendship into adulthood can make for connections that are essentially ageless. The people that I'm closest to with right now, other than my wife and Dolly, are probably the people I play D&D with. My online group has been a rotating cast of people who live all over, but we've been playing for a while now, and every week we spend 3-4 hours just hanging out, being creative, playing. My Tuesday night game is at my local friendly game shop, and the people at that table are the people I'd double date with to go play mini golf or go out to dinner or whatever now. But I didn't know any of them this time last year, and now we are tight. Of course, adult friendships have plenty going for them. Adults tend to have stronger cognitive, social, and emotional skills, which allow them to better empathize with, offer advice to, and otherwise support friends. Look, I moved here to this new city during the pandemic and didn't know anyone for a few hundred miles in any direction. But because I put myself out there and was willing to run some Dungeons and Dragons, I feel like I have a very rich social life now. Don't get me wrong, it took me a little while to make that leap, because as the article states actually, for many adults, friendship tends to become a luxury rather than a priority. Part of adulthood is learning to prioritize things for yourself. When you're a kid, your job is to play, and we played with whoever was around for the most part, but having friends is hugely important. It's easy to forget that because it doesn't pay the bills, but Malcolm Gladwell made a pretty convincing case that it actually can make you live longer. I'm not going to bring things down here, but suffice it to say, we all know loneliness can be deadly. And everybody watching this, I'm sure, can think of someone who makes game night a priority and probably knows somebody else who does not. Now, we're all adults here. I bet the kids have left a long time ago. So you do have to accommodate life and schedules, all of those grown-up responsibilities, of course. But if we don't accommodate and schedule for our friend time as well, we won't be left with many friends. I, for one, don't walk down the street to find a pickup basketball game or like a spontaneous game of manhunt in the park anymore. But if I know Tuesday night is game night, I'm going to make a point to be there unless something really comes up. In the article, they talk to a psychology professor who says he'd find it hard to call up a friend and say, hey, want to go throw some stones in the river? Because he senses that adult get-togethers should have a clear purpose. We know what to expect of something like a dinner party, but especially with someone new, just hanging out is more confusing. There's this open feeling about it. Well, how long is it going to take? What are we going to do? What am I supposed to wear? Now, I would love if somebody called me up and asked if I want to go throw stones in the river, but I get it. We can't just wander off with empty pockets until the streetlights come on anymore. One of the most perennially searched D&D questions is, how long does it take? And the answer, for those searching for that, is anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, and if you're lucky, months or even years. Now, towards the end of the article, they do mention Dungeons and Dragons as one way adults get together and play these days, and that's probably why it came up on my radar in the first place, honestly. And I've been saying for a long time now that D&D is special because if you're doing it right, you are creating shared experiences together. You are building a world and having an adventure in it with these people around the table with you. When you are in it, there are parts of your mind, parts of your whole systems in your body that are having this experience. And you are going to remember that time you invaded the giant's fortress and barely escaped with your lives as if you were there. Listen for how people transition from my character is this and that to I did this, we did that seamlessly. Okay, maybe this isn't a great dinner party conversation when you're out with old friends doing that catching up thing that can feel pretty transactional sometimes, but it's a great way to share experiences together and form strong friendships. I'm not really sure if there are many things out there that you should be prioritizing over that when you get down to it. I hope you think about that next time you're wondering if you should show up to game night or not. There's more good stuff in that article. I didn't want to just read the whole thing at you, so go check it out. If you've enjoyed this, I'm going to put the link to that in the description. If you are trying to make some new connections or get together with your current friend group more regularly, strengthen those connections, this whole channel is a great way to help you make that happen. Like and subscribe so the algorithmic ghosts in the machine feed you more verdigris table content, and maybe check out this video next. Thanks so much for watching. Be kind, have fun, go play.